Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a club so haunted by a number that no one wants to wear it? Not because of injury or form or tactics, but because of something deeper. Something that just feels wrong. Not just any number. We're talking about the 9. The shirt that's supposed to belong to the killer in the box, the match winner, the one who decides games with a single touch and walks off the pitch with the fans chanting his name. At Chelsea, that number doesn't bring confidence. It brings questions. Players avoid it. Coaches joke about it. And the club? Well, sometimes they leave it completely empty for an entire season, and not by accident. Since 2004, they've tried 12 different names, and almost every single one collapsed. Some lost form, others lost confidence, and a few simply disappeared without a trace. So no, this isn't just about shirt numbers or squad lists. It's about pressure, identity, and a pattern that no one has been able to break. The real question isn't who's going to wear it next, it's who's brave enough to even try. This was supposed to be the start of something great, a new era, new ownership, record-breaking signings, and a club ready to dominate English football once again. And with all of that, came the expectation that the number 9 shirt would be part of that rise, worn by a striker worthy of the spotlight. But for Chelsea, things took a strange and consistent turn. It started just after Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink left, a striker who wore the number 9 like it was made for him, scoring 70 Premier League goals in 136 games, with no drama and no fear, just ruthless finishing. Then came Matej Kezman, arriving from PSV with a lethal record and high hopes, only to last one forgettable season in West London. That was the first sign that something wasn't right, but no one was panicking yet. The problem was, it didn't stop. More signings came, more experiments failed, and before long, the number started to carry weight that no one wanted to touch. Then came Fernando Torres. Chelsea paid £50 million, a British transfer record at the time, to bring him from Liverpool where he had been unplayable. And yet, in a Chelsea shirt, he looked like a shadow of himself, scoring just 20 goals in 110 Premier League appearances. No injuries to blame, no off-field scandals, just a slow, quiet disappearance. And when a striker of that level loses his edge, people start to look for reasons. It stopped being about performance and started to feel like something bigger was at play. The number wasn't just symbolic anymore. It was radioactive. Then came the silence. In 2016-17 season, Chelsea left the number 9 shirt blank. Again in 2023-24, and again in 2024-25. 3 full seasons, no one touched it. Not because they forgot, but because no one wanted to deal with what came with it. Even Thomas Tuchel said it out loud in a press conference. It's cursed. People tell me it's cursed. Surprisingly, no one wants to touch it. That was when it stopped being a joke. The number that once meant strength, leadership, and goals had become a warning. And when strikers start to fear the weight of a shirt more than the defenders in front of them, you know something has gone terribly wrong. Before everything started unraveling, there was Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. And if you're looking for the last time Chelsea's number 9 carried exactly the weight it was supposed to, look no further than him. With 70 Premier League goals in 136 games, Hasselbaink was powerful, efficient, and consistent. The kind of forward who didn't hesitate and didn't overthink. He wore the shirt with pride and delivered exactly what it demanded. But when he left, Chelsea entered a new era, the Abramovich era, full of ambition, full of investment, but ironically, without a proper heir to that number. No one ever truly replaced Hasselbaink, and although many were brought in, no one ever looked fully comfortable wearing that shirt again. Then came Didier Drogba. And here's the twist. The most iconic striker of Chelsea's modern era, the man who decided a Champions League final with a header and a penalty, never wore the number 9. Not once. When Drogba first arrived in 2004, the shirt was available, but he chose 15. 2 years later, he switched to 11, and when he returned to the club a decade later and Oscar had taken that number, Drogba waited until it became available again. He didn't just make the 11 iconic, he made it sacred. That decision, whether calculated or coincidental, now looks symbolic. Drogba was the ultimate Chelsea striker, with 104 goals, 4 Premier League titles, and every major trophy, all without ever touching the number 9. And after him, no one else wanted the burden. Because how do you replace a legend when even he avoided the shirt you're expected to wear? Before we move on, quick pause. If you're enjoying the video, hit subscribe and help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And drop a comment. Which striker do you think suffered the most from the number 9 at Chelsea? All right, back to it.
Since 2004, 12 players have worn Chelsea's number 9. Most failed, some faded quietly, a few collapsed publicly. Matej Kezman came with promise, left with 7 goals. Then came names like Sidwell, Boularus, De Santo, players who were never true strikers yet wore the shirt. It was already slipping into irrelevance. Then came Fernando Torres, £50 million, a British record. 20 goals in 110 league games. Moments like Barcelona and the Europa League final couldn't erase the bigger picture. He never looked comfortable. Alvaro Morata followed. 16 goals in his first season, then frustration. Gonzalo Higuain, 5 goals. Falcao, 1. Aubameyang, 3. And Lukaku, £97.5 million. In one infamous game against Crystal Palace, 7 touches, 90 minutes. A symbol of everything that went wrong. But there was one exception. Tammy Abraham, Chelsea Academy. 18 goals in his first full season, top scorer in 2019-20, then sold to Roma. Just when it felt like the curse might be broken, it continued. 12 players, hundreds of games, over £200 million, and one name, maybe, who wore the 9 without being broken by it. Some players didn't fail with the 9, they simply never touched it. Diego Costa, one of Chelsea's fiercest strikers, took number 19. 3 Premier League titles, 59 goals. He played like a classic number 9, but he never wore it. Then came others. Timo Werner, more of a wide forward, chose number 11. Kai Havertz? He stuck with 29, a tribute to his brother from their FIFA games. Even when asked, he never switched. Olivier Giroud wore 18. When he moved to Milan, Paolo Maldini joked, "Are you sure about the 9? It's cursed." Giroud laughed, but in London, he never took the risk. This avoidance wasn't random. It became a pattern. Players arrived, made an impact, scored goals, but none claimed the shirt. And then, Nicholas Jackson, young, explosive, signed to solve a striker problem. He wore number 15. And when asked about the 9, he turned it down without hesitation. This isn't about marketing or player preference. It's about fear, silent, unspoken, but deeply felt. At Chelsea, the number 9 shirt stopped being a symbol of responsibility. It became a weight. Too heavy for some, too cursed for others. When no one wants to be your striker, you get creative. Chelsea did just that. Instead of forcing the number 9, they embraced the false 9. Fluid movement, positional rotation, forwards who drift, link, drop. No fixed target, no shirt curse. Kai Havertz became the face of this strategy. Not a traditional striker, but intelligent between the lines. Against Real Madrid, in the Champions League, he didn't just play, he glided. And in the final against City, it worked. Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021 with no true number 9. That team had no striker on the pitch. No Drogba, no Diego Costa. Just Mason Mount feeding Havertz with runners all around. It looked like a tactical evolution, but deep down, it felt like compromise. The system worked, but not because it was the plan. It was survival. And when Lukaku returned for £97.5 million, Chelsea hoped the curse had finally expired. Instead, it resurfaced. His numbers dropped, his presence vanished. In the infamous Crystal Palace match, he touched the ball just 7 times. 90 minutes, 7 touches. So they went back to what felt safer. False 9s, no 9s, anyone, except someone who wanted the shirt. Then, finally, someone said yes. Liam Delap, just 22 years old, signed from Ipswich Town for £30 million after scoring 12 goals in the Premier League. He's young, physical, aggressive, not a household name, but exactly the kind of profile that sometimes thrives under pressure. More importantly, when Chelsea offered him the number 9 shirt, he accepted. No hesitation, no negotiation. Delap wanted the challenge, or at least wasn't afraid of it. And maybe that's what this shirt has needed all along. Not a superstar trying to live up to a legacy, but someone with nothing to lose. Someone who's not running from the past, but trying to write something new entirely. Delap might not be the savior. He might not even last. But for the first time in years, the number 9 is back on the pitch, worn by a player who asked for it, not inherited it by default. Still, nothing is guaranteed. Because just behind him, there's another name rising. João Pedro, signed after a breakout season with Brighton, where he lit up the FIFA Club World Cup playing alongside Cole Palmer, is already showing signs that he could become something bigger than expected. He hasn't taken the 9. Not yet. But if Delap stumbles, or if Chelsea loses patience, João might be next in line. So the number lives on. It's no longer hidden. But that doesn't mean the curse is broken. Maybe it never will be. Maybe someone will finally tame it. Or maybe, just maybe, the number 9 at Chelsea was never meant to belong to anyone at all.